right, I've got a photocopy of my drawing, and it's on like a thicker index paper, and I've got a drawing board. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use either the blue or the green painter's tape, tape it to the board, and in doing so, it's going to create a border on your finished painting. So I don't know if you can tell, but I'm like half on the paper, half on the board. So I'm gonna do this all the way around. Try the best you can to keep your line straight. Like keep the edge of the tape parallel to the piece of paper. Best you can. Okay, now on the tape, you're gonna write your name. I'm gonna do it in Sharpie so you can see. Right what block you're in. Pretending this is 2A. All right, and the reason we're doing this is to adhere our paper to a board, and if we paint the whole paper, when we take the tape off, it actually creates this really nice white border on our artwork. All right, to set up your paint palette, we're gonna use hopefully just those small little plates that we did when we did clay. You want your 3 primary colors, and then we're gonna use white to tint our colors, but we're not gonna be using black to shade. We're gonna try to shade with our darker colors. These types of paintbrushes are, where's my camera? Whoop, are called flat brushes, right? Think of them as having hard edges and being rectangular. And then this sort of a brush is going to be a round brush. So I'm gonna get flat and a round, or you could just have one, it doesn't matter. I'm probably gonna be using this one mostly. And then we're gonna use a paper towel to wipe our brush off, to clean it in between colors. I don't really like painting with water because I want, I just dipped that in the paint. I want to have a dirty brush. I want my colors to mix and move around. But I might need water to clean at some point. Also, you can't see, but I am wearing an apron. I recommend wearing an apron. I spilled paint on my foot and my shoe when I was pouring out my paint palettes. So I've got my 3 apples set up. They're different than what I drew, but I have my values here. I have colors there, so I'm gonna try to use that as a guide. So I'm gonna work on this back one, which is light green. So what 2 primary colors make green? It's gonna be yellow with a tad of blue, right? And that's a really nice green. I want to make it lighter. If I want to tint it, I would add my white. If I want to shade it, make it darker, I would add more blue. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? I'm trying to wipe that on my paper towel. All right, good thing we're painting over everything. All right, so I'm gonna start painting green, and I kind of made this tinted, which is light green. So I'm gonna go in the areas where I really see that light green. And I want my brush strokes to go in the same direction that I drew in. Also, if I use water, I'm gonna make this too transparent. I'm using temper paint. So temper paint is kind of cheaper and transparent. If I was using acrylic, then you wouldn't be able to see through it. All right, to make it a little darker, is that on there? I'm gonna mix in a little bit of blue on my brush. And I'm gonna start painting with that darker color at the bottom. So I'm also turning my brush over. And now the tricky part, just like with shading, you gotta try to blend it together. You can use your finger to kind of help smooth. Also keep in mind, this is drying really fast. Okay, I'm gonna get more of that tinted yellow-green. Go right into that wet paint. Start moving on this side. All right, so it looks like I shaded it darker here. So I'm gonna get more of that blue on my brush. Put the blue, that blue-green, right on top. And then again, go right into that wet paint to try to blend and move that around. Get more of my yellow-green. So remember, you're trying to sculpt this apple with your brush strokes. More of that yellow-green on the top here. Ooh, there's a lot of blue right there. Get more yellow-green. Go right back in here. More yellow. Right back there. So I'm just looking. And remember, with paint, you can always paint on top. This doesn't have to be the final decision. Ugh, that red. All right, I'm gonna get another layer because I don't like that you can see all the pencil there. There it goes. Also, it's okay to see the brush stroke because we're making a painting. More of that tinted yellow-green right here around those highlights. So I can leave the highlights white, or I'm gonna clean my brush like this. Can get some white right on my brush. Get that white highlight in there. Remember, you want to be going the direction of the apple. All right, now I want a dark stem. So the stem is brown. The way you make brown is you mix complementary colors together. So blue is complementary to orange. Orange is in between yellow and red. So I'm gonna get some yellow, a little bit of red, try to make an orange. Ooh, hello orange. See, that was way too much red. Okay, nice orange. Add a tiniest dot of blue. Might even be too much. So it looks kind of green, doesn't it? So you gotta think, if this is green, the complementary color to green, opposite on the color wheel of green, is red. Tiny bit of red. I need more. I really want this to be darker. Okay, it's looking more brown. I want it to be darker, so I'm gonna try to go more blue. All right, so I'm gonna add my stem. I'll get some blue to be dark at the bottom of that stem. And then I'm gonna clean my brush. Now, I can't leave this brush like this. I'm just getting ready to then paint another color. Let's add more stem here. There we go. All right, pretty happy with that apple. Let's move on to this red apple. All right, can you see? So I'm probably using that. All paint off. So it's lighter, my apple's lighter red on the left, kind of medium red here, really dark over there. So for my darks, I'm going to mix red with the only other dark color I have, which is blue. So you're gonna get purples to be over here for the darks. I need some. Okay, where else do I want it dark? I'm gonna use the values I have on my apple instead of looking at my apple because it's so different. All right, so now I'm gonna go in with my reds, get some medium tones. Remember, I'm using my brush strokes in the direction of the apple. And then kind of some yellows on this side. That yellow is really weak. It's totally overpowered by the red. All right, so I'm gonna get kind of a pinkish color by mixing red and white. There's, on this side of the apple, there's kind of like a reflection of the paper. So I'm gonna use white, try to get those tones. I really wanna get some yellow. Cleaning my brush. I want some yellows over here. So I might need to wait till this dries because it's just sucking it up. Some yellow tones. All right, so I've got different values. Last is that white highlight. Cleaning my brush, get white, get those highlights going in the direction of the apple. Oh yeah, my stem. Get some more blue in there. I'm just gonna use blue. There we go. Not happy. So see how I'm really just going back on top of everything I've done. Keep changing it. last one has a lot of yellows around the top, like oranges. I'm gonna mix a lot of orange. It's gonna take a couple layers, I can tell, because it's so transparent. All right, and then it goes into red. So here, I don't just want to have a line from this color to red. So again, I can use my finger, go back and forth in that wet paint. I can also use the brush, clean it, get more yellow, just go right back on top while it's all still wet. All right, I need that to dry so I can keep adding more. All right, so I'm gonna continue with the red, and then it's gonna get darker at the bottom. Uh-oh. All right, blue. Blue is dark. So it's gonna go really dark, really fast. Okay, get some red. Put red right in there. So you can mix it on your paint palette, or you can mix it straight onto the painting. There you go. And get blue stem. A little bit of white in there. Ouch. A little bit of highlight on the stem. Clean my brush. Get some more white highlight. Where else can I add that white? It's actually lighter back behind here. White. There we go. I can kind of clean my brush. Use just my brush to try to blend that out a little bit more. All right, a little bit darker, it looks like, right around here, using that awkward brown color that I made. That red is kind of like reaching up. Here's some streaks. All right, I like it. So next are those cast shadows. Actually, hang on, I'm gonna fix the stem. I'm just gonna make it all blue, because that's my darkest color. There we go.